Welcome to Tarot by the Moon. This is Tasha at Tarot by the Moon. Happy IMBOLC for a start. Happy new moon as well. I'm recording this on the 1st of February, so pinch 1st of the month and all of that to all of you. It feels like a wonderful energy. It feels like obviously a very new energy, but like a new on top of new. And a recurring theme that I've actually had since I've been making this video, you guys, and that I want to mention because I forgot to mention it last time. I'm really feeling it again today. Super, you'll know what I'm going to say. What I mean now when I say it is, I've said to you guys throughout the makings of these videos, never mind what season we've been in, I have felt like it's kind of spring. Yeah, you might remember me saying that back in the autumn, at the beginning of the winter, and now we're like in February already. Wow, just on the verge of coming up to spring, but it's felt like spring. It's felt like a kind of a spring, like a new energy for pretty much the whole year, I want to say. It's like the springtime of something anyway, the springtime of the new way of doing things, the springtime of the new paradigm. It doesn't seem to matter what season we're in, it's kind of spring is what I want to say. And I was really feeling it during the last video as well, but I did the video and then I was like, oh, I didn't mention about that, so I just want to mention that straight away, because it's like, obviously, like I've just said, it's IMBOLC, it's February the 1st, it's a new moon, it's Aquarius, you know, it's the new energy, but now we're actually coming up for spring as well. So thank you once again, anyway, just my little rambler. Thank you once again for all of your beautiful energy. I've had some wonderful exchanges and validations from people in the last week. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, and blessings to each and every one of you. You guys are fantastic. You guys are rocking it. You are just out there. I absolutely, I'm awed by each and every one of you, to be honest with you, as individuals and as a collective. I think it's absolutely amazing what we're doing. It's something that we're fomenting on a global as well. It's something that we as individuals, and I know, like I say, many of you guys who watch this channel, I'm in awe of you as individuals. I really am. So I'm very humbled to be able to come in and open up a channel and allow these messages to come through, allow these inspirations to come through, allow my energy to connect with your beautiful energies. It's just nothing but a privilege and a wonder to me. It's absolutely full of magic, and I just want to say thank you. I just want to express my gratitude, just really express my gratitude to each and every one of you, to us as a collective, and to the whole planet. It feels like it's growing, this channel that we're doing here. This does feel like it's starting to grow. I'm starting to see a little bit of new growth. And it's, you know, if anyone's ever done any type of horticulture or planting seeds and flowers and things like that, you know how exciting it is when we plant that seed and then we see that first little, you know, that the seed cracks and you get your little seedling, and then you're watching the seedling, and then the seedling starts to change and take form into the beautiful plant that it's going to become. And I feel like that's the stage I'm at with this channel. It's like the seed's definitely cracked. We've definitely seen growth. And now it's just starting to split again, and I can see the beautiful thing that it could potentially become with the right care, nurture and support, which you got, each and every one of you guys is a part of. Each and every time one of you gets in touch with me with a message, each and every time somebody gives me a like or a share or a subscribe or drops me a comment or a smiley face or anything you like in the box below, every single time you do that, you're helping me to nurture that little seedling that this channel is, okay? And it means the world to me. It means the world to me to have that support. And yeah, I feel a little bit emotional there. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's quite right. Take a little sip of my tea a minute. Okay. So like I say, thank you very much for all the support. Thank you very much for all the likes, shares, subscribes, all of the beautiful communication that I've received, all of your beautiful energy that I'm in touch with, that we're all in touch with. We're all a part of this beautiful weave we call life. IMBOLC blessings. It's all about a new start. It's all about setting intentions. It's all about bringing in the new. It's all about planting those little seeds and noticing those first shoots of growth. Okay, now when we're planting new seeds, that does often mean we can expect the unexpected, I feel. Okay, because often that means we've got to let go of some other stuff. Often that means we don't really know what that's going to turn into. When you plant a seed, when you plant a new plant in the garden or in a window box, for instance, then I've just been given this analogy now. It's like, you might think, oh, look, I really want to plant this, whatever it is, I plant this courtyard or whatever, and you've put it in. You don't know how it's going to take in the soil. You don't know how it's going to respond to the other plants around it in the garden. It could turn out to be more fantastic than we thought it was going to be, or it could turn out to be something quite different. So I feel like it's quite an energy of, with IMBOLC, I feel like it's an energy of expect the unexpected, literally, because it's so new, it's so new that we don't really know. And that's exciting, and we should allow ourselves to be excited by that. We should get that little, get that bubbly energy from it. That is like, oh, I don't know, but isn't it exciting? One of my friends gave a good analogy recently about like a magician looking in a test tube, with a fizzing potion sort of thing, and oh, look, what's it going to be? We don't know, but we're conjuring all the time. So we don't know how this garden's going to grow. We know it's going to grow, and we know we're going to take care of what needs to be taken care of as we go along with growing this garden. But we don't know, but let that excite us. Don't let that daunt us. Don't let that put us off. Don't let us get us into a sketchy energy of, oh, well, what if this plant grows and then it doesn't get along with these other plants? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll deal with it. We'll take care of it step by step. Let's just be excited about the energy going forward and about the new life. Let's bless every little new blossom that we're seeing on the trees. We've all, walk in your local park, wherever you are in the world watching this, start to see spring blossoming. You'll start to see the buds. You've started to see the shoots come up from the earth. Bless every single time. Bless it every single time that you see it. And feel those blessings coming back to your own energy as well. Feel your own energy start to revive. Feel your own energy start to feel more spring-like. Bless your own growth. Bless the growth of everyone's that we see around us as well. I just wanted to let that up. There it is, like a little green shoot popping up out of the ground there. So new moon, fantastic start to the month. Whole new cycle we're in, a tarot by the moon. So let's set our intentions, and let's set an intention, I was thinking as well, to I don't even know how this came up in my spectrum, but it's like, let's set an intention to just like sort of like, understand that we are, that's what we're doing. It's grounding it in the end, grounding it in that soil, shining the light on it, shining the emotions of water on it. I'm overly excited. I feel like I'm not explaining this very well, and I had it earlier on. It was like that. It just flashed my head, and I was like, that needs to be woven into the reading. But I tell you what, let's see what happens as we go along, because that's the way it goes here at Tarot by the Moon. As you know, nothing new could possibly be rehearsed. It's just not possible for me to rehearse this. All I do is sort of like work within the energies. I'm already in the frame of the energies. I'm already sort of keeping up with what's going on astrologically and things like that. We're in Aquarius season. Now, we know we're in Aquarius season. We've already talked about this over the last couple of weeks. But also, the sun is in Aquarius for 28 days. We know this, yeah? And now we've got the moon is in Aquarius today. I think it was yesterday as well. Tomorrow we change into Pisces. So it's like a double Aquarius energy today, the day I'm recording this, which is Tuesday, February the 1st. we're in like a double Aquarius energy. So no wonder I'm feeling so fizzy and new and excitable, and I can't quite. It's that visionary thing. It's that water bearer thing. I'm going to talk about the water bearer in a little minute. First thing I'm going to do here at Tarot by the Moon, after thanking you all, and I'm sorry if this one's a little bit, I don't know, I just feel a little bit more nervous for some reason as well. I don't know why, but it's like a fizzy, exciting energy, I suppose, a bubbly sort of energy. I probably need to ground myself a little bit, but I do feel excited at the thought of a new season, of a whole new cycle, of just everything that's growing at the minute that's positive. I felt really excited and intrigued by it, and I'm getting a little bit like a big kid there. The one thing I wanted to talk about was the water bearer, the sign of the water bearer, Aquarius. Now, as many of you know, I recommend you follow Astrology Hub because they've got some fantastic speakers on there. They're much more professional than I am and wherever, and they're very knowledgeable, and they explain astrology just so as everyone can understand it. It's brilliant. So I do recommend you go over and have a look at that. And I was listening to that, and they were telling the story of the water bearer and why Aquarius is considered to be the sign of the far out sort of energy, the visionary, the future. And we're building a new age. We're co-creating this new age of Aquarius, and we can put anything in there that we want in there. So nothing's too far out, you know. But the original legend behind the water bearer was that the story came about in a time where we hadn't even invented a jug yet, you know, never mind a tap or anything of that nature. So the water bearer was the one who had the genius idea of where the whole village would have gone down to the river to do their washing and get their water and do their laundry and whatever. It would all be down the river together. Do you know what I mean? This one person has gone, I've got an idea. I'm going to collect the water and I'm going to carry it back in a vessel, and then we'll be able to get more use of it. And people said, what are you doing that for? You're nuts, you're crazy. What's the point? It's not going to work. I don't get it. Da-da-da-da-da. But the water bearer did it anyway, and it did go on to benefit the village. And then everybody was like, oh my goodness, you're a genius. Oh my goodness, I don't know how we managed without you figuring out that we can carry water in a vessel and bring it to where we need it to be instead of going to it with all of our pots and pans and whatever they were doing, you know. And I thought, that's it, innit? That's the energy we're in now. Literally, when you have a good idea, right, or something that you want to run with, or something that you seem to understand that nobody else seems to get or whatever, you know it in yourself. There's a feeling that goes with it. There's a knowing that goes with it. It's like a switch, and it's like, that's your guides. That's no doubt your guides. That's no doubt the universe backing you up, going, yes, this is a good idea. Yes, we do need more of this in the world. Yes, and just giving you that little push to get out there and take your crazy ideas, your energy or your projects forward in whatever way is resonating. Because that is that feeling, isn't it? That's that resonant feeling of, well, I know they don't get it, and I know he don't get it, and she certainly don't get it, and they, you know, you might have all of this energy around you, but you know when you've done it, everybody's going to go, oh wow, I get it now. Do you know what it's a little bit like? Sometimes I've had this happen in my life, and I'm sure other people have as well. You might have a vision, right? Now, I have got an Aquarius moon, but I don't think that matters. I think everyone's feeling this Aquarius energy now. You might have a vision, okay, of, say, redecorating, and I've done it many times, and I've said to people who are living with me or wherever, yeah, I'm going to paint this colour, and then that over there is going to have that colour, and then this is going to have something else going on, and it sounds like a mismatch to them. It sounds like it's not going to work at all. You can see their face going, really, you know, we all live here, we've all got to look at this or whatever, and you're going, it's going to look great when it's done, it's going to look great when it's done, you'll see what I mean, okay? And they allow you to do it, they allow you to be creative and get on with it, and you do it, and then everybody loves it. In fact, everyone starts copying it, you'll find. you'll find the people around you start going, you know, you've gone over their house and they've pretty much emulated exactly what you've done in your house or whatever. More sincere form of flattery, of course. But at first, everyone was like, really? You're going to put that and that together? And it's like, yeah, because you're the one with the vision. You're the one who can see how it all clicks together and how it's going to be fantastic and how it's going to inspire other people to do the same thing or very similar things. So never ever be scared by your own ideas, passions. I hope this has come across. This Aquarius energy, it's I'm so excited in the age of Aquarius. We're in the season of Aquarius, 2022. 22 being the highest number in magic, 22 being the number of the master builder and the master creator as well. Let's not forget that. So we're in 2022, master number, master numerology, master vibration, creating. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're now in the season of Aquarius, okay? And now we're in the Aquarius moon as well. I mean, oof, okay, no wonder it's a little bit fizzy. So I suppose it's very important to remember to stay grounded during this time. So that could be, you know, by making sure we get enough exercise, enough sleep, enough fresh air, and all of those sorts of things on a daily basis, because you do get burned out with that energy otherwise. And also to just like take those ideas forward. Don't allow any negative influences of your own inner demons coming up or in other people around us, because don't forget, when we see so-called demons in other people, those are just a reflection of the demons that we've not dealt with in ourselves. And I'm pretty sure most of the people watching my channel here are well aware of that and do work within that spectrum themselves, okay? Just worth reminding each other sometimes, I think. It wouldn't have come up if there wasn't any reason for it either. So, nice little preamble today. I hope you're still with me. Now, I am going to get into the reading now in a minute, as we say in Wales. I'm just going to say hi as well, because obviously I've got quite a few Welsh people watching this, who are my close friends and whatever, but I'm really pleased as well that I've got viewers in New Zealand, we've got viewers in Sweden, we've got viewers in Spain. So this does starting to feel like a global collective, as small as it is, as small as that shoot of growth is, it's still growth. And I just feel like unifying energy. Australia as well. So I'm just reaching out to everyone. I'm just making my friends in Wales understand as well that, yeah, it is us, but it's also a global, okay, and beyond. And beyond. I mean, you know, there's no limits, okay? So all of that being said, and thank you for sticking with me through that random ramble, I'm just going to call in the highest vibration of love and only love into this reading today, Tarot by the Moon, on this blessed IMBOLC 2022, my loves. Let's bring in love and nothing but love, the very highest vibration of love for ourselves, for planet, for Mother Gaia, for all of the life that exists in all of the dimensions in this planet and all the spheres beyond, to all of the animal life, to all of the life, the plant life that supports us here, the marine life, the insect life, all the life, everything in between, the dark, the light, all the colours, every colour of the rainbow. Let's bring in nothing but the very highest and the very finest vibration for all of that. I'm going to take a big deep breath and I'm going to say, on this blessed IMBOLC, let's plant seeds. Let's plant seeds of the future that we can nurture together here at Tarot by the Moon. Let's plant seeds for the future that are going to nurture the whole of humanity. Okay, my loves. Let's plant seeds for the future that are going to nourish our own lives and nourish the lives of others. Okay, let's realise that we're connected, and let's really feel that deep. I'm really feeling a deep, deep connection to all of this today. And so it is. Okay, so we're going in. Now, ta-da! I don't know where this is coming from with me today. Ta-da! All right, it's going to be these ones today. Now, okay. So let's see what's coming up. Now, so any new viewers, there's two straight away. I will be explaining in a minute. Hang on. What have I done there? Because that's... So how will I... Yeah, it is there and it is there. Okay. Now just checking because they've come out reverse. I'm just checking I didn't turn them as I've turned them in. That's all good. That's all good. So... This one's crossing. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to leave that there because it came out as a cross. It came out a cross, which is like, it needs to be involved, but not let's just get one more card. Thank you so much. Just gratitude. Spirit guides, guardian angels today. It's Mr. Murray in the background. Come to have a look what's going on. And Mr. Milo's just out on over there, out the shot, in the other window. They're both absolutely adorable, and I love them so much. These are turned over. Okay, I'm just gonna bear with me. That's unusual. Now, as you know, I only take the flippers and the fallers. Okay, but 4 have come out, but 1 came out this way. So. And it actually came out before that one, so it must be there. But I'm going to put it that way, and we're going to talk about that being a crossing energy or supporting energy in a minute then, okay? Because I don't feel like there's any more coming out of there now. I've gone round and round, done the mantra in my head, and nothing's come out there. So I'm just going to, I don't know, I've just been guided to do it this way today. Bit unusual. It's never quite the same twice a tarot by the moon. Anyone who's been following me regularly will understand that. It's always got a bit of an organic wobble to it. It's never a set thing. But the basic format of what we do here is, this is called my element spread, okay? It's what affects the microcosm, our personal lives, and it's also what's affecting the global. So what we do is we go air, fire, water, fire and earth, all right? The area of air will represent our mental states, our thought processes, and how we're dealing with all of that. The element of water represents our emotions and our heart, okay, and how we're feeling about everything. The area of fire represents our will and our creativity and our drive and how we're getting things done here, okay. And then the area of earth is how we're filtering all that down into the actual earth plane, 3D, whatever you prefer to think of it as. Or are we grounding it even? How we're grounding it, I want to say as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag here this week, gang. Now, straight away, and I'm so glad to see this as well, because this came up last year when I first started the channel. It came up in the very early readings that I did, and it was very, very painful. And I remember talking to you guys about it and saying, you know, I know as well, there were people in my collective who were feeling this on a personal level, and it's one of the most difficult energies in the tarot. It's the 3 of Swords. It's about grief. It's about a broken heart. It's about a wound, okay? It's about a lot of pain. It's one of the most painful, well, it is the most painful energy in the tarot. It's come up in our area of air, okay, our mental processes, our mental health, etc, etc. What I will say is, so glad that it came out in the reverse. It came out in the reverse, my loves, and that has shown me straight away that we've done so much healing. And what better news could we have for the beginning of IMBOLC? What better news could we have for the beginning of a new moon cycle? Right? That we've actually started to heal that whatever it was that was like an unbearable pain, an unbearable shadow to look at, an unbearable cross to bear, an unbearable grief to deal with in your life. Starting to heal that, starting to turn that around, starting to see the light of the tunnel. A lot of us here are still on your long dark night of the soul, as we say, okay? A lot of you will still be feeling like you're still on there. But even the ones that are feeling like they're still on there and are still understanding that those painful memories, painful lessons, painful emotions that we've had to deal with, you're starting to understand how to integrate it. You're starting to understand how it all works, okay, when you're coming through the other side of all of those painful experiences. So I'm dead proud of us there, my lovelies. It's showing us as well that it's literally a part of, right? So what I'm being shown, here we go. So what I'm being shown you is, if you look at it this way round today, which again, I've never really thought about it in this way, but this is how I get the messages over Tarot by the Moon. This sword in the middle is upright and pointing upward, okay? Like an Ace of Swords, like a classic Excalibur Ace of Swords. So that's all about clarity. That's about mental clarity. There's no energy in the tarot that's more about mental clarity than the Ace of Swords, okay? So where that was causing us confusion, causing us anger, causing us regrets, and all of those sort of toxic things that we've had to deal with to heal this, what we've got now as we've turned it around is clarity. Clarity in our mind, clarity with the Ace of Swords, that this pain that we've had to deal with, this grief that we've had to deal with, all right, whatever it was, my darlings, look how it's become like a part of it. It's like part of this one thing. I'm just noticing how they're overlapping there, and it's sort of like locked together. I hope you can see what I mean. And there's a clarity of mind. I'm so glad this has come up in the area of air. There's a clarity of mind here, of understanding how painful experiences bring us growth, how painful experiences fit together as part of the whole. Because of course, when we're going through a painful experience or grief or something of that nature, we tend to despair, and we tend to sort of excuse me, my belly's rumbling, I hope you can't hear that on there. We tend to sort of say, why, you know, well, why, how is this part of life? How can this horrible thing that's happened, how can these horrible toxic emotions that are coming up, how can this terrible grief that I'm having to face, how can any of those sorts of things be part of life's plan? How can that be? And it's really hard when you're in those emotions to figure it out. But what I'm seeing here is that we are starting to figure it out, how it all fits together, like the way those ends, those swords are locked together in a kind of a puzzle pattern. Okay, there's a clarity, there's a knowing, there's an understanding here, there's a lot of healing here, so much healing. And I feel like we've already healed lots. The last reading we did was so positive. If you haven't watched it, please take the time to watch it. It was so positive. And I feel like this is now showing us, you know, it's another new start. It's IMBOLC. And we realise that, the healing never stops. The understanding of how it all locks together never stops. We're just on another level with it now. All right, we've just taken it up another level. That's what I'm understanding and seeing here. It's absolutely wonderful. The next card that came out was the Eight of Cups in reverse. The Eight of Cups have been coming up a lot for us on Tarot by the Moon, and we talked about it quite extensively on the last video, so we recommend anyone tuning in for the first time to check out that video too. It's come out in the reverse here, okay, which suggests that what is this showing us? It feels like there's a resistance here, okay? This is in our feelings, this is in our area of water, this is coming up in our heart chakra area. This feels like a resistance. So where the Eight of Cups is all about moving on confidently to something better for yourself, okay, and realising, accepting that has to change, and it's time to move on. This is a little bit of resistance that we're feeling, which is only natural when you've gone through all of that. And now you're in another level and another layer of all of that you're going to come to another layer of resistance. And it's interesting that energy has come up as well, because I've been like I say, I listen to a lot of the astrologers and everything. Another lady that I recommend you listen to is Pam Gregory. Not Pamela Gregory, Pam Gregory. She never uses Pamela. Pamela is a fake profile of hers. Pam Gregory, talking about the upcoming astrology and what's going on with the planets there. And a lot of it was about lessons in resistance. So there's a lot of Taurus energy at the minute. Now, I got Taurus ascendant myself, so I understand the Taurus energy can be very stubborn, can be very dig your heels in, can be very resistant. And what she was trying to teach there was, what we're trying to learn, what we're trying to change in the world is instead of meeting resistance and more resistance, do you see what I mean? This was brilliant. Another one of my mates brought this to my attention recently. Mother Teresa, I think it was, had said that she would not join the good fight for peace. And I thought, that's brilliant. That's just spot on. That's perfect. Because, of course, how can we fight for peace? We've talked about this on Tarot by the Moon before. If we've got to fight with ourselves to do our spiritual practice, no, it should be about flowing. Okay, we need to find a flow. So I feel like it's depending on what energies you've got in your personal chart and what you're working with as well. So if you've got any fixed signs in your chart, like I think it's Taurus, Leo and Scorpio, I think those are the fixed ones. Yeah, that's where your resistance is. Okay, that's where you were working on that area of so say something comes up in your life and you want it to move in a certain direction, but you're not feeling like it's going to. The first natural urge will be to go, oh, well, I'm dig your heels in or whatever, No, okay? At the same time, those energies can work in a positive way. So those sorts of energies, so I'll use Taurus as an example because I understand Taurus energy a bit better, and also because it's what's going on right now. You're going to find that in a positive way, it can help you to get things done. Things like learning things like being determined to meet your goals and things like that. You can use that energy in a very positive way. Okay? There's nothing stopping you. Right, I'm going to achieve this goal. Right, I'm going to learn these new skills. Right, I'm going to kick this bad habit or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay? So you can also use that energy in a very positive way. But what we're learning to do at the minute, and what the astrology is trying to teach us at the minute is that we need to let go of a lot of the resistance. It's just creating us more drama further down the line. It's creating us more drama within ourselves, and then it's knocking us off kilter. So if we've created resistance where there didn't need to be any resistance, it's like it's going to knock us right off kilter, rock our energy off for some time to come until we figure it back out and work it all back out again. And it's fine. I mean, if we mess it up, we mess it up. We're humans. That's what we're here to do. No, nothing's ever in a perfect. We seem to be thinking we've got to find this perfect life, perfect way of doing things, perfect everyday balance between stuff and whatever. It just doesn't work like that. What happens is we work in cycles. Might be a cycle in your life where you're giving an awful lot of attention to your family, all right, because that's what's necessary. And then an event will come along and show you that you're doing too much. No, nature will take it and show you you're doing too much of that. So instead of resisting that and going, well, no, because my family, I've got to do that, that's resistance. Don't just go with that flow, go with that tide of, oh, well, still got time for all of that, but now it's time for something else. Now it's time for me, or now it's time for me to look at my projects, or whatever else is going on in your life. So I don't know if I've explained that very well, but what I'm seeing is it's like, right, instead of sort of being like a kind of a human that's like going, every day I put a portion of my day to my health. All right, so every day I do a little bit of exercise and I do a little bit of meditation or whatever, and then I have this many hours left for my family and friends, and then I have this many hours left for work, and then I have this many hours left for leisure at the end of the day. Instead of trying to do it like that, because that's where that's just like too hard. It's like, it's more like, let's understand that there are cycles in your life, and it's different for everyone, where you're giving a lot of your energy to your work. Then there'll be a cycle in your life where you need to pull back from that and start giving a lot more of your energy out to your family and friends. And it's about understanding that that's where the balance is, not in the, every day. It's in a bigger spiral. I don't know if I've explained that very well. I hope I have, but that's where I'm seeing you. And there's a lot of resistance to that. There's an awful lot of resistance. And I can feel it now even. I can feel it now, even there's a lot of resistance to that. There's a lot of resistance to understanding where the ebb and where the flow is. Okay. So instead of trying to like build a perfect life day by day, where every day you've done 3 hours of that, 2 hours of that, 3 hours of that, everything's bang on schedule and ticked off a list, as marvellous as that energy can be and useful as that energy can be for sure, this lesson is more about understanding that the ebb and flow is much more individual, that it is tied up with the planets and with the other energies that the universe is providing for us to work with. Understanding where the ebb and flow is, understanding the signs that come along to show you need to pull back. So for instance, your health might start to teach you. That's a classic, you know, your health, you'll start to feel just under the weather or whatever, and that's probably a sign you need to pull back from whatever it is that's been dominating your energy. It doesn't matter what it was, it's besides the point what it was. The point is something's been dominating your energy and now it's time to pull back from it. But what we do is we resist that because that's how we've been trained, that's how we've always done things, and we go, and especially if you've got any of the fixed energies in your chart and whatever, you're going to go, oh well, no, I do need to do that because, you know, oh well, I do need to give 100% to my partner all the time, for instance, otherwise they're gonna, you know, this is gonna, well, no, because life's trying to show you need to pull back. That's why you feel under the weather, that's why you feel off kilter, that's why you're just feeling a little bit weird around your partner maybe or whatever, because you've actually given too much. So it's time to pull that back a little bit. And this is how balance works. I don't know, I feel like this is a massive lesson in teaching us about balance and resistance. I didn't expect this. Here we go. I hope this is coming across. It feels quite awkward to get across this, I gotta be honest. It's like I'm seeing it, I'm feeling it, but I'm also feeling the resistance at the same time. Maybe that's my own resistance too. You know, there's cycles in, right? So for instance as well, since the COVID, so since the pandemic, it's brought us a whole new cycle, and for a lot of us that have meant, you know, we have had to spend more time alone. We have had to, a lot of people have taken a lot more time out for self-care and things like that because they haven't had nothing else to do. Okay, well maybe we're coming to the end of that cycle now. Maybe we're coming to the end of that cycle now as well, and it's time to sort of recognise the ebb and flow of where the next tide is going to take us. That's going to bring balance to our overall life. So instead of looking at it like life like day by day, trying to create this perfect balance day by day, let's look at the whole of our lives. Here we go, the whole of our lives as one big day. I hope this makes sense. The whole of our lives as one big day, all right? Or even, let's not get into that. Let's just look at it like that. I was going to say let's look at the whole bigger picture even beyond that, but no, I'm being shown not to do that. Let's just do that. Let's just look at, and so instead of creating perfect balanced life where every day I do 2 hours of this and 3 hours of that, and then I drink this much water, and instead of that, let's realise that our whole life is like one big day. So there might be months or years where you've given an awful lot of your energy to one area of your life, and then nature will give you your signals that you need to pull back and redirect your energy. Oh, that makes sense. That's a new one. Okay. I'm sure you'll let me know. Please let me know. And like I always say, the best way to let me know and the best way to support the channel, help me grow the channel, is to actually leave a comment in the box below, okay? However, I absolutely love all and any of your messages as well. And if you wanted to talk about anything that we're doing here or anything that's come up here, please just get in touch with me and we'll have a chat. Yeah, that'll be fantastic. The next thing that's come up is this weird one, came out crosswise. So this could be a block or this could be a blessing, because a block is often a blessing in disguise, you know. In fact, I go as far as to say it always is. It's just, yeah, let's see what comes up. It's a 5 of Cups. It's come up in our area of fire, creativity, passions, how we're getting things done. I will move forward when the time is right, is the mantra at the bottom. I've been drawn to straight away. It's about giving you time. I always think the Five of Cups is sort of, there's a sense of looking back with regret on the classic Rider-Waite tarot, or on a lot of the very traditional tarot cards. There's an image of 5 cups, and 3 of them have been tipped over. They've gone forever, they've been spilled forever, and there'll be a figure on the card looking really cheesed off about that, alright? But what he's failing to realise is that there are still 2 cups standing, and that those 2 cups are full to the brim, and that those 2 cups can lead to so much more. So you should, instead of crying over what's lost, taking care of what's remained. 2 cups. So we've talked about that many times. That's the basic translation of 5 of Cups in tarot, okay? But it's come out in a blocking energy, which is also a blessing. But you see, that's about resistance again, isn't it? The 5 of Cups is all about resistance. He's resisting to understand, so he's getting all bogged down about the 3 cups being spilled over, okay? But failing to understand that there's 2 cups there, and 2 cups is a magical energy. And we talked about this, it might have been on the last one, or one of the more recent videos that we've done, that 2 cups is often about partnerships, relationships and things like that. But it's often as well, and I feel like certainly your Tarot by the Moon, it's often teaching us about our own relationship with our own higher self, okay? And that's what's coming up here now, bear with me. Okay, so use our resistance. We're talking about resistance there, and then this has come up that way. Resistance. See what I mean about how it works here? And I couldn't have figured that. So it's come up in the area of important as well. That it's come up in the area of fire, which is how we get things done. It's our mojo, it's our drive, okay? Our creativity. It's a bit of a block. There's a bit of resistance. We want to move forward. We're waiting for the right time. Very often there's no such thing as a right time, all right? It's just an excuse that we use. It's very much about understanding our own relationship with our own higher self, this is. Okay, I see it now. So this is very much about understanding our own relationship with our own higher self, because what we used to doing, and in the old paradigm, okay, this is what we used to doing. We used to block in ourselves. We used to sabotaging ourselves at every blinking situation, all right? So there's a resistance to this 8 of Cups. There's a resistance to moving on to better things and becoming a better version of ourselves. There's a resistance to all of that. And what this reading is showing me quite clearly here, what Spirit is showing me quite clearly here, is we need to trust our higher self. Our higher self is our relationship, that 2 of Cups, okay? This 3 has been spelt over, it's gone. It's gone. You can stay in the energy of regret, you can stay in the energy of grief and mourning and upset, okay, and very, very natural too. I'm not suggesting you push yourself beyond, okay, your own reasonable energy limits and things like that. But what this is encouraging us and asking us to look at is like, where's your trust in your own higher self? Your own higher self knows what's best for you, okay? Your guides know what's best for you. However you want to label that is entirely up to you. It's all the same thing as far as I'm concerned here. So my own higher self knows what's best, okay? But I'm resisting that. I'm thinking, no, I know what's best. It's best for me to stay down, to stay in regret, to keep looking back at what could have been, or what I should have done, or what I didn't do. To create resistance, to create a blockage where there doesn't need to be any at all, to moving on to bigger and better things, to moving on up to that castle on the hill. 8 of Cups, okay? Spirit is screaming at us here to pay attention, to build that trust with your own higher self, build that trust with your guides and angels. If you're not sure, and if you're watching this reading right now and you're still not sure and you're still feeling that resistance to yourself, now is a perfect time to call on that source energy in any way, shape you can, or whatever works for you, okay? Now is the perfect time to call on that, right now as you're watching this, okay? And ask for the way it should be clear for you. You've come so far. You've come so far out of this energy. You've healed so much. You've integrated. Look at how they integrate with each other, those blades. Okay? You've integrated so much of your pain. You've integrated so much of your painful experiences. Alright, now it's time to let that go, let it go. Now it's time to let it go and move on. Move on to the Eight of Cups. Let that Eight of Cups work for you, not against you. Okay? Let this Five of Cups work for you, not against you. Let it enhance your intuition. Let it enhance your abilities to contact your guides and be in touch with your higher self and source energy. Let it enhance all of that. Don't let yourself get slipped back into this. Alright? We don't want to see that turned around. We don't want this. We want this. Now, yeah, life is going to keep throwing painful experiences at us. Life is going to keep throwing those painful emotions at us. Those things will still keep coming up until we get it. Until we get it. We keep going in cycles until we get it. That's the way everything in nature works. It's no different in our spirituality or in our emotions. No different mental abilities. None of it is any different. Everything works in cycles. Everything's on that spiral, okay? So, go with it, my loves. Let's learn to recognise when is the time for an ebb and when is the time for a flow, okay? Let's recognise to learn that and let go of the resistance, alright? Let's move forward. Let's move forward with confidence, knowing that we're in touch with our higher selves, that we're building that relationship with the universe all the time. Every decision we make, every breath we make, every thought is a spin of energy. Every thought, every time your brain goes round and round the same thing or gets stuck in a negative loop, that's you've spun something there. You've spun energy there now, And then instead of like beating yourself up about it, I've been negative, I've got up today and I've been really miserable and I've been really negative and instead of spinning more misery into it, alright, it's just about sort of recognising that that's what's happening. Don't try and put blame on anything or anywhere either, because that's going to add even more resistance. Just recognising. There's your ebb, there's your flow. Let it go and redirect your energy to something a lot more positive yourself. Spirit will show you what. Your guides will show you what. Your own higher self will show you what if you don't know already. And I feel like many of us watching this, yeah, we all get a bit lost and a bit confused sometimes with what we're doing and what we're meant to be doing. But I feel like there's somebody in particular you're watching this is feeling very confused about all those things. I've been feeling it right from the start. There's a strong resistance to what you should be doing and you're not doing it. And we should be letting go of and you're not letting go of or whatever. And it's like deep down you already know the answer. It's like, it's the same as when people come and have a personal tarot reading or whatever. Very often a tarot reading, one-to-one tarot reading will just show you what you already knew. It just clarifies what you already knew, and that's what this reading seems to be about. It seems to be about, like, instead of being blocked by this energy of, well, that's gone, and now I've done this, and now I'm at this crossroads, and I don't really, right, appreciate that you're at a crossroads, appreciate that you're at a point where you can start to learn about ebb and flow, appreciate that you are in touch with your guides, okay, and this is just a transitory period that you're in. That they've brought you here, they know what's best for you, you know what's best for you, or you wouldn't have made the decisions you've made leading up to this feeling of resistance and confusion. And let's clear that energy and go forward, because it's new moon, my loves, it's new moon. We don't want to carry any of that resistance, confusion. We don't want to carry, that's what we don't want to carry forward with a new moon, okay? But what we do want to carry forward is trust, is growth, is opportunity. Now trust, this is where we're at, with this crossroads of trust. So universe, spirit is asking you very strongly to just trust that this is time to flow forward now. This is time to let that go, let it be gone, let it be washed out with the tide, and carry forward into a new tide, okay? I hope this is hitting home for somebody. I feel like it's quite a difficult energy, and whoever it is, I'm sending you so much love. There's nothing worse than being stuck at that sort of crossroads, sort of procrastinating sort of energy. It's so frustrating. Sending you so much love, and I'm sure you will find your way forward, and I'm sure you will start to shine your light again, even though you might not be feeling it right now. I understand that some of you very much isn't feeling it right now. This is only a temporary situation. This is only a temporary feeling you're going through. It's a little wobble, okay? You'll soon start to see with absolute clarity, like I said to you at the beginning, what was showing me there on that Three of Swords, is through all this pain and confusion that you've experienced, there is absolute clarity coming in, okay? If it's not with you already, it's imminent. Oh, next one, Four of Pentacles, lovely earthy energy. I trust that I'm always safe and protected. There you go. Please trust that. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you're feeling, whatever it is that's making you feel this resistance, whatever it is that's creating this blockage or this grief for you, okay? Please, please, please trust that you are always safe and protected. You are loved, you are protected, you are safe. Each and every individual on the planet deserves to know that and feel that, because it is absolute truth. And whoever it is that's listening right now, who's in particular, I can feel quite a lot of, like I say, I won't even say it's drama, but it's a very difficult energy. Whoever it is that is feeling that, please understand that you are loved, you are safe, you are protected, okay? And that this is just all part of the process we're going through here, okay? You're not alone. We're all together on this journey called life. And even at times when you don't feel like it, you still always are, all right? Every single human, every single heart, every single life matters, okay? Four of Pentacles, it's about allowing ourselves to believe that there's better, okay? We've talked about the Four of Pentacles many times, Tarot by the Moon, scarcity mentality. I feel like there's a lot of complex issues coming at you in this reading. So this is how it's manifested in the earth. This is how it's manifested in the day-to-day life. This is pretty complex stuff. This is pretty deep, dark stuff, okay? So yeah, what's manifested around us is a sense of confusion, is a sense of not feeling like there's quite enough, or that you have the enough energy or you know, positivity to get you through this next bit or whatever. You do, because even when you don't feel like you do, the universe has got your back, and that's an absolute fact that I believe in 100%. Look at Mr. Milo just come into shop there, just to cheer you up. Look at him, I know, he's wonderful. So please hang in there, whoever that is. I want to say as well, is that word trust come up again, and that I felt that really strongly here. It's just about learning to trust when the ebb and the flow of life is. So learning to know when to let go and when to grab on, learning to know our higher self, our source energy, God, the universe, whatever you prefer to call it, does have our back, 100%, all right? Trusting in that 100%, going forward, okay, bravely, with confidence. Doesn't always feel like that. It certainly doesn't feel like that in this reading, I have to say. But I do understand that this will heal. We're just about to pass from Aquarius. Now, like I say, Aquarius, it's been double Aquarius energy in the last few days, so that can be a bit overwhelming. It's like I started this reading almost overexcitable. And a lot of us will have been feeling that in the collective, I suppose, is what I'm being shown now. So that can lead us to feel a little bit unstable as well. Because it's almost like, it's too exciting. Do you know what I mean? Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? You are, you absolutely are. We're just about to move into Pisces energy, I was just thinking then as well. So that's going to lend us a different sort of, I feel like that's going to be quite a welcome relief. That's going to be quite dreamy. That's going to be quite like let go. The limitlessness of Pisces as well. That's going to remind us, we need that in the mix with the Aquarius, I feel. It's going to remind us that, you know, let go of resistance, let go of making boundaries. It's limitless. It's as vast as the ocean. All right, what you can achieve, what you can do, once you understand about the ebb and the flow, once you understand about catching a tide when the tide's right and things like that. We're only going to learn all of that by going through a little bit of icky sort of energy, aren't we, as well? I hope this is making sense for somebody, my loves. I feel like somebody really, really, really needs this today. For some reason, well, we always say for some reason, and then we always find out exactly what the reason is. You're a tarot by the moon. Celtic Oracle cards today wanted to come up for a little look-see. Now, they're plants and animals on these, and they're very basic meanings, if you know what I mean, okay? So let's see what insight comes up there. There's no way I'm doing it like that. Again, I just got this energy of new. But it takes a while to integrate that energy as well. We're still at the very beginning of the new moon. We're still at the very beginning of an IMBOLC season. We're still at the very beginning of 2022. So don't push ourselves too hard if we're not feeling like we, you know, want to run with all this fantastic new energy straight away. If we're not quite feeling that, that's okay as well. Everything's in its right place. Everything's just being processed correctly, and we're safe, we're loved, we're protected, and we're finding our way through a lot of difficult emotions here. Now, too many came out. Okay, it's interesting now. Okay. Liking it. I'm going to do all of them, and I never ever do this. If too many come out, you guys know I go in again and just get one or two or whatever, but I don't know, today's different. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This video is becoming a little bit long, but it's necessary for it to be long today. The first two I'm going to talk about are the animals, because I do know about these. It's the snake, oh, love it, and the frog, okay. Losgan, which I think these are Gaelic words, ancient Celtic language. Natir, and Losgan, okay, the frog and the snake. The snake's all about shedding skin, as we know. It's all about renewal. It's all about transformative energy. Very, very painful, okay? We talked about this in the last video. So this is an energy that's come overlapped from the last video as well. A lot of snakes, they'll die if they don't shed their skin. It's very, very painful, you know, to hold on to an old skin. It's very, very painful what I'm feeling is being held on to here. This resistance, this pain, this trauma. You're keeping yourself locked in even more pain there, my loves. That's what we're doing when we do that, okay? We've got to allow that energy of the snake in. We've got to allow that energy of shedding and regrowth to become completely natural. If any creature understands about the ebb and flow of nature, it's the snake. You know, there's no holding on to what's not working anymore with the snake. It's just gone, and it's time to grow a new skin. Love that the snake came out for us there. And the frog. Now this is an interesting one, because I've worked with this energy quite a lot myself, so I do understand about the frog energy, and it's very often about making the most of what we got around us, right? A frog doesn't really travel very far. It might only live in a small pond or a small body of water of some kind, but that doesn't mean it has any less fun than, you know. It's about actually, there's another worldly element to working with the energy of the frog as well, because they're one of those creatures that sort of live in a in-between sort of energy. It's not quite a land animal, it's not quite a water animal, it's a bit of both. It sort of lives in mud, it sort of hibernates in mud, it comes up in the, it's a very otherworldly sort of energy. And interestingly, now I've just been reminded by my guides of this as well, and thank you, so grateful for that. I knew there was something. This morning, I did think I was going to come on and do a reading today. I actually wanted to do one yesterday, but I ended up getting locked out of my house. Long story. I ended up getting locked out of my house yesterday with my 2 dogs, so put a bit of a spanner in the works. But today I was like, no, I'm definitely getting the reading done today. And all that kept coming into my energy field this morning as I was thinking about checking in with you guys was a bubble. Right? Like a proper bubble, like a sphere, like this. And I was like, what is it about the bubble? And what I got from it was it's about like creating a bubble for ourselves, and it was a watery energy to it as well. There was the element of water and the energy of water coming up, but it was presented to me as a bubble. Because most of the time you think of water, you think of a waterfall or the sea or whatever, but it wasn't. I was shown a bubble, and I thought, well, that is watery. It's still watery energy, but it's a bubble, and somehow that's linked to the frog energy there as well. I feel. They go under the pot. I've had a pond in my garden with frogs breeding in before and everything, and they create the bubbles up on the surface. They breathe when they're in the mating season. They neck bubbles out like that. Some different breeds of them and everything when they croak. Okay, but the energy of Loscan is about appreciating where you are and what's immediately around you, instead of feeling like, oh, I never so. For instance, you might be feeling like you never go in. You might have wanted to do some travelling and you're not going to get a chance to do your travelling. You might have wanted to go on a trip and you're not getting a chance to go travelling on that trip. You might have thought that you were going to be so much more spiritually expanded by now, but you're still working on a lot of stuff. Okay? That's all fine. That's all within the energy of the frog, because the frog will make the most of its immediate environment. It doesn't need a lot. It doesn't need to go very far. It doesn't need to worry about any of that. It's got everything it needs in its immediate environment. And the message from Spirit when you're working with a frog energy is very much about that. It's very much, instead of like going, oh, but I wanted to be all the way up there by now, or all the way over there by now, or whatever. Well, you're not. You're you. This is where you are, and it's a bit muddy, and it's not quite what you wanted, and whatever, but this is where you are. And until you learn how to work within this energy of where you are, you won't be going on any further either. And that's not to say it in a way that's like, oh, I've got to stay here and be a frog and be stuck in this energy. Frog's a happy creature. Frog's got everything it needs. Frog knows exactly what it needs to do. Frog gets up in the morning, sings the first thing in the morning, and makes noise last thing at night. If you've ever had them out your back garden, you'll know. They take care of each other. They take care of their young ones. They're quite happy to just sit on a lily pad and eat insects all day. They're a perfectly blissful creature. There's another worldly quality to them where they live in between the worlds as well, and I feel that's very spiritual. I feel that's part of spiritual growth, is to understand that there's an in-between. There's an in-between to everything. There's an in-between to everything. We're not in the spirit, we're in the flesh, but yet we're sort of in between as well. In between those two worlds, the shamanic energy of working in between those two worlds. Just bear with me 1 minute. Mr. Milo, come here, yo. Okay. It's just the energy of Mr. Milo there. Anyway, let's move on, my darlings. What we've also got is the willow, the rose hip, I believe it's a rose hip, and the holly. Interesting. Now, the willow is very, very magical energy. I've worked with willow energy very strongly, so it is something I do understand. I will talk about willow energy. It's very, very sacred tree. Again, it's very otherworldly. It's known as a tree of enchantment, in fact. So it couldn't be more otherworldly, could it, really, than that? It's got strong links to Hecate. It's got strong links to Druid magic also. I feel like out of all the tree energies, it's one of the most magical. Literally, it's known as the tree of enchantment. And if you work with the energy of trees and things like that in a shamanic sense, you really feel that with a willow. It feels the presence of a willow tree in your life is it's very protective, okay, but it's also sort of protective in a way of it can spin an enchantment. So it can spin an enchantment around you to protect you. It can also bring your powers of enchantment to the surface. So it's very, very interesting energy to work with. If you have been drawn to willow trees lately, or you've got willow trees nearby where you live or something, I do recommend you go and just hang out with those guys. They're amazing. I always used, there was a fabulous one for donkey's years that's been chopped down now, near Cardiff Castle. As you go into the park, so you go over that little bridge, there used to be a huge willow tree. It's been chopped down years ago. It got chopped down when we had the bad snow in Cardiff a few years back now, about 10 years ago probably. And they've planted a little one there that was taken, you know, from the nursery, which is sort of a descendant of that tree. But I was gutted. I was gutted when they took that tree away, because I used to call that my temple. That was my temple. Absolute wonderful tree to sit with and meditate with and feel the energy of and work within the energy of. Next two coming up, holly, and I think that's a rosehip. I'm going to look them up from the book, these two, because these two I'm not so familiar with. Okay, now we all know about holly, the basic thing, but I'm going to... So they see... Holly... I hope you, sorry. It's a rosehip though, isn't it? There's a rosehip on there. The yew is a tree that grows to a very great age and is connected with the process of death and continuing life. Ebb and flow, my friends. Ebb and flow. Okay, the yew is coming in to teach us about ebb and flow. It is associated with regeneration and the embracing of change. We're resisting change. We're resisting it, but we need to embrace it. It's perfect. As a life-enhancing process. It's pretty much summing... This couple of sentences here about the year was pretty much summing up this whole reading. Love it. So grateful. Grateful to you guys for sticking with me throughout this. And grateful to Spirit as well. The yew also embodies ancient wisdom and connects to the past or even to previous existences. Interesting. Wow. Wow, well, I didn't realise that. Now... Oh, wow. Because didn't we say earlier on in the reading as well, to like, if we start to try and learn to look at life as like our whole life is like a day instead of the day-to-day. And then I nearly said, but then Spirit stopped me and said, this is confusing enough without that, come back to that. I was going to say, well, you could step back and even further and look at your many lifetimes as one whole day and your soul progress. The you also embodies ancient wisdom and connections to the past and even previous existences. So where we're learning to ebb and flow, it's not just in our daily life, what we call daily life on the 3D. It's not just in our standing back and looking at the big picture of our own lives as one day. It's actually standing back and looking at our whole soul's progress over many existences. And the yew is here to support us in that understanding. Because it lives to a great age, of course. It's connected. I'll read it again. The yew is a tree that grows to a very great age and is connected with the processes of death and continuing life. It is associated with regeneration and the embracing of change as a life-enhancing process. The yew also embodies ancient wisdom and connections to the past or even previous existence. Love that. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a nasal. Excuse me. Okie okay. Right. Next one we had was holly, which is called Tin or Tine, T-I-N-N-E, sorry. Oh, I can see that one. How interesting. Some more shows off to me here. Yeah, there it is, holly. This evergreen tree, there we are. This evergreen tree flowers in summer but bears its fruits in the winter. It rules during the winter months as guardian of the waning year and holds the wisdom of the dark time. Holly symbolises the strength of the hearth and home, and its prickly leaves offer protection against hostile energies. Didn't I say we're protected, and we're to feel that we're protected even when we're going through these wobbly, difficult, resistant energies? We're to understand, and we're to remind each other and remind ourselves that we are safe, we are protected, and we are loved. And that's why the holly has come up in the Celtic oracles to remind us this is how spirit works. We're truly grateful, so grateful, Spirit, for showing it, teaching us through these amazing oracles here today. Holly symbolises the strength of the hearth and home, and its prickly leaves offer protection against hostile energies. Sorry, I'm just overwhelmed. I just get a little bit overwhelmed at how spirit works. That's incredible. Especially those that endanger the family, the vulnerable, or those under threat. Slow growing and tough, it is also often support for long journeys. Wow, wow, wow. Very protective energy, the holly. Now I know that a lot of people, like, I think it's a little bit of gypsy folklore, isn't it? They carry a little bit of holly pinned to your undergarments when you're travelling. Well, obviously gypsies are travellers. And that's like an old thing. If you pin a little bit of holly to your undergarments, it'll protect you as a travel amulet. So that's an ancient protective plant that's coming to this reading to show us exactly what we've been saying, exactly what's come up here, that we are protected, that we are safe, that we are experiencing difficult energies, and then we're not to like. And again, I'm glad I went in and we tackled this and we didn't try and make. This is what we got to do. This is how we know this is never ever rehearsed as well, because I'd like nothing more than to sit here and every week to have a reading like we had last week, which was just full of wonder and light and, you know, all of that, sugar and spice. But it don't work like that. And sometimes we do have to sort of navigate some difficult energies in these readings and things like that. And navigate them we must if we're to come out the other side. But we've got the protection of spirit. The protection of spirit has come up in the Four of Pentacles. The protection of spirit has come up in the Oracle of Holly. We're understanding how to let go of, learn ebb and flow and regeneration and death, and when to let go and when to hold on with a yew tree, okay? We're understanding that also with the snake energy. Nothing more complementary there. Two perfectly complementary energies. We're also understanding that we have to stay in these energies and we have to navigate these difficult energies. But I'm going to come back to the beginning of the reading again, because we are starting to. That energy was turned around, don't forget. That energy is reversed. So we are still coming through it. Alright? In our minds, we know we've reversed the energy. In our minds, we know we're on the road back to recovery from all of this. But there's still resistance in our feelings and in our fire. But we're working it out. So we do need to be in that energy sometimes. Sometimes we feel a bit stuck. Sometimes we feel a bit like a frog in a pond that doesn't want to be a frog in a pond. You might want to be a unicorn running through the Black Forest or something like that. But you're not feeling like a frog stuck in a pond. But that's okay. We're to stay there. We're to stay in that pond, as dark and murky as it can be, and we're to figure out what's working there and what's not working there, and make songs and you know, what the frogs do, like they literally sing, swim, you know, and do life from there. Actually, that's what we have to learn to do. And then we've got the enchantment of the willow tree. There on the reverse, Eight of Cups, which is teaching us to let go. I'm going to read that as well, because I gave you my little insights to it, but I'm going to read it from the book for you. I just feel like I should. So, willow. When cut, the willow quickly grows again, representing the qualities of death and regeneration. There's a big theme going on here today, guys. It signifies flexibility and emotional balance. Flexibility, of course. Of course. I'm so glad I read it from the book, because I'd forgotten that. Of course, the willow is the most flexible. Yeah, the willow branches are used for all sorts of fabulous basket weaving and things like this. Yeah. So that's what it's teaching us. Teaching us to be emotionally flexible. It's teaching us to be emotional. I'm so glad I could put that there in the area of what Spirit's guided me to do. We need to be more flexible with these ebbs and flows. We need to be more flexible with these difficult energies when they come up. It's about emotional balance and the ability to bend rather than break. There you go. Under pressure and to spring back after misfortune. It also evokes the power of intuition and the inner voice and the healing of pain. Of course, because we get aspirin comes from, I think there's a derivative of willow bark in aspirin. I think so anyway. I'm sure if I'm wrong about any of this, all right, but whatever, please drop me comments. Please get in touch. I'd love to hear about all of that. I'm pretty sure it is, and it does have pain relieving ingredients. I'm pretty sure the American Indians were wise to this. I can't believe that insight has come up there, and that could not be more perfect for our reading. So when it's cut, it quickly grows again. So this represents having a painful experience, the most painful experience, possibly one of the most painful experiences you'll ever experience, but being able to grow again, being able to bend rather than break with all of the ebbs and the flows that can be quite difficult to navigate and understand if we're doing the right or wrong things. And the healing of pain. I mean, could that be a more perfect? Or I'm so glad. I thought it was a bit odd that I'd gone with them today, because I don't very often use these ones. But there we go. Now, like I said, when I picked them up, for some reason they wanted to be involved. Well, it's never for some reason, because what more perfect energies could we have had to round out our reading today, my loves. I hope this has helped. I hope I haven't rambled on too much. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling that we're all together on this. We're all finding a way forward. We're all healing. We're all learning to ebb and flow. We're all learning to bend like a willow in the wind. We're all learning to shed our skin and move on. We're all understanding that we are safe and that we are protected, even when we don't feel like that, and even when we have got to navigate all of this tricky sort of energy. I hope that has helped. Let's move forward. We're still, like I say, we're still in the very, very new moon. We're still in the very, very early part of the year. So let's give ourselves time to navigate all of this, because we've still got time for planting those seeds and those intentions. Let's clear this energy first. Let's not worry too much about all of the planting of the seeds, the new moon and IMBOLC and all that. Let's make sure we're dealing with this energy correctly first, I want to say. I'll be back in a couple of days' time, and the energy will have shifted by then and everything again, and we'll be guided as to when we're planting our seeds for our intentions to go forward. We'll be guided, okay? Let's trust in that guidance completely, because I do 100%. Let's not feel like we're out of step, because we're not out of step. We're not out of step at all. We're exactly where we are. We're that frog. This is where we are, and this is what we're dealing with. So let's deal with it. Let's deal with it together. Let's grow together. Let's learn to ebb and flow. Let's learn to let go of things that are not working. Let's learn to bend, and let's learn to really, really trust the spirit. Because if nothing else has come out this reading, I think that the fact the Spirit is teaching us and is working through us, and has definitely got our back, has come up strongly, and that we're protected, we're safe, we're loved. Okay, my loves? So all the love and all the light, and thank you for sticking with me. It's been a super long one, but it must have been necessary for somebody. Love you so much. Love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you so much. If anyone, if you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Please just hit it the once. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to do. It's easy to do. There's no catch at all. Please subscribe, because it's a way for me to grow this channel, and it's a dream come true for me. Please get in touch in any way you can. I'm always here. I'm always willing to listen. I'm always happy to hear from each and every one of you. All of the love and all of the light.